Hello, this is Tazlon. I am here in Prok Standard Mode North in my RU-251 for Volume 2 of the Lighthouse tutorial series, Random Acts of Scoutness. In this volume, we are going to look at initial positioning and why you may not always go directly towards where you want to end up at. We're going to look at the other bush in E1, the overlooked and often forgotten second bush in E1 that can be extremely valuable to you as a scout. And we're also going to look at a technique called double bushing or triple bushing, which very basically is using a second layer of environmental concealment to allow you to safely fire at opponents without being spotted. So, in the first 30 seconds I've told my team I'm going to be spotting over on the west side and would appreciate snipers. I've had a couple TDs respond affirmative. One thing you have to consider as you start a battle is what are my capabilities and what are the enemy tank's capabilities. Going directly to E1, something that I can almost always pull off in my Tier 4 scouts, I may not be able to do as easily in a Tier 8. The enemy scouts are faster, especially enemy mediums have way better view ranges than they did at Tier 4, and so the odds are very high if I go directly to E1 I'm going to be spotted, have to run for my life, get shot, get killed, get a crew member killed, or may never be able to get back into that area safely to be able to spot for my team. So I'm not going to go directly to E1 right now because the odds of me making it safely are low. Instead, I'm going to pull up one bush short of E1, and then based on what I see on the battlefield, when I think I can safely move there, that's what I'll do. Always remember that as tiers increase, the tactics you need to use to be successful change. Something you can do at Tier 4 you may not be able to do as successfully at Tier 8. So as you deploy as a passive spotter and as you set up, two things are very key for what you decide to do in the near future. Three actually. The first one is, do you have support coming with you? In this case I have 3 TDs, a medium, a heavy, and a arty, all over here ready to shoot at what I see. That's perfect, man. You couldn't ask for more than that. You probably don't want more than that, because if you get more than that you're abandoning the map somewhere else, which could cause trouble. The second key thing, of course, is am I going to get spots? Now right now I see a T-54. I have to give people a chance to show up, and this brings up the third one. Here's the CDC. Are the people backing me up able to shoot and hit the target effectively? Right now it's looking like they can. That CDC disappeared in 5 shots. I think they missed 2, took 7 overall, and killed them in 5. So I have people behind me. They've demonstrated the ability to hit what I see. That tells me, number one, I don't have to worry about trying to bring my gun into play right away because I can sit here, spot, and let my teammates take care of what I'm seeing. Now, if I had only had, say, maybe 1 tank with me, I may have to start trying to figure out how to bring my gun into play to take care of what we're seeing. Or, if everybody's shooting, there's rounds flying everywhere and nobody's getting shot, in other words, my people can't hit what they're aiming at, and especially when there's 6 tanks over here, I have to figure out something else to do. Either bring my gun into play or move and go support the other flank. Because if we have 6 tanks over here, me, counting me, 7, and we're producing no benefit to the team, that means our team's probably getting destroyed on the other parts of the map. So I need to figure out something else to do to help. In this case, I have support and they can hit what they're shooting at, so I can be content to sit here and let my team do the work as I spot. The T-54 right now is preventing me from moving to E1. The tanks I see to the south are backing up. They're far enough away I can move up there and they won't see me, but the T-54 still could. But I'm starting to think about, okay, it's time to get up to E1 so I can look a little deeper downfield and see if I can keep those more distant tanks lit up for my team to take out. If I go right now, the E-54 spots me. If he gets over toward the edge of that view circle, I'm out of here. I thought he was going to, and then he came back. So I was getting ready to go. I was like, oops, not quite yet. This E-mill's moving up. If that chases the T-54 back a little bit, I'm going to E1 right away. So I'm watching him on the mini-map, seeing where he's going. He's getting way over there. I'm going to go straight up to get as much distance as possible between myself and the T-54 eyes as I can. Now I'm going to cut over. T-10, no way he's going to spot me. So now I'm up to where my initial goal was. For 3.5 minutes into the battle. But hey, guess what? I'm here safely. I wasn't seen. I can continue to provide support and eyes for my team. T-54 is over there where he's close enough to see me, but the bushes are protecting me. Starting to see some TDs, and they're going to come under fire. I'm going to pause this and talk about this other bush right now. There's the bush I'm talking about. That second bush behind you in E1 is extremely valuable to a scout. Really to anybody who comes up here. What happens a lot, we've all had this happen to us, or if we haven't, you're about to at some future point, not too far from now. You sit up here, even though you aren't seen, there's somebody smart enough on the enemy team to know that if tanks down here are getting shot at, it's very likely there's somebody in E1. And so they start taking random shots into these E1 bushes. And so even though you've never been spotted, all of a sudden you come under fire. Now fortunately, they don't sit there and fire. They usually lob 1 or 2, maybe 3, 4 shots at you, and they're done. If that starts happening, back up into this bush. It looks like it's out of bounds, but you can stay up here and be almost completely concealed. The back of your tank may stick out. If you have a large scout, if you have a small scout, you're complete concealment up here. And all the rounds they're shooting at you hit down here in front of you. Meanwhile, you sit up here many times, still able to spot them completely untouched. So use it as an escape area. Instead of running for your life and being spotted, back up to here. You won't get seen. You're probably safe from fire. Secondly, you can sit up here and hide your tank. Use these layer of trees and bushes as a second layer of concealment, and you're effectively double bushing your tank from targets downstream to where you can fire and the muzzle blast won't be seen by your enemy. And I'm going to start doing that in just a few seconds. Okay, pretend I'm in this tank, in this bush. I want to shoot at him. I got this layer of bushes, this layer of bushes. I'm double bushing, he can't see me. T-54, I have this layer of bushes, I have this layer of bushes in the foliage from the tree, preventing the T-54 from shooting me. Right now, those are the only 2 locations where I've seen enemies. And by simply moving back to that bush, I have extra layer of concealment from both sets of targets. So I can sit up there and fire, I can bring my gun into play, and I will not be seen. Let's see how this goes. I'm going to do it here in just a few seconds. Right now I'm still letting my team smack these TDs around. But they're in perfect location for what I'm about to do. It conceals me for 3 or 4 shots before I get seen. If you don't double bush, if you just rely on a single bush, you have to back up, fire a couple rounds, and then you have to move back forward to get your eyes back on the target, back up again. Whereas if you're double bushing, you don't have to back up. You just sit here and fire, especially if somebody else is seeing your targets for you. It allows you to fire as soon as you reload. You're already aimed in. You get to fire right away. Look, I'm not moving. I'm not being seen. As fast as I can reload, I'm getting another shot off. This is maximizing your DPM potential. Awesome for your team when you can do it, especially if you're providing spots for yourself as well. Now, I fired 3 or 4 times, maybe 5. I'm going to get seen here in a second. My Panther 2 starts moving up, and I've already decided I'm going to move forward and take on this Tiger 2. I got seen on that last shot because the T-54 backed up. I lost my second layer of concealment. But I'm already committed to moving forward right away. So I go down first, take myself out of line of fire from the T-54. Now I'm going to use this little ridge line and bushes to mask my run in on the Tiger 2. He's not going to be able to shoot at me until I get right up next to him. Hopefully we can take this guy down before I die. He gets one shot in. I don't want to sit there track, so I repair. I'm going to come around the back of the tank. He has no chance to shoot me. He's going to try to shoot me, but not close, dude. Good try. He was wasted a round. And now we're starting to break the game wide open. Win the West, win this map almost every time. We are set up in perfect flanking position. They're far enough away that I can just move up. I'll still use a bush just in case, but we're going to be able to snipe these people and break the game completely wide open to where there's no chance of them mounting a comeback.
Enemy armor is hit.
Bam. One tank to go over here. Somebody beat me to him. Now there's just two tanks probably over on the hill. I know the one guy's up on the hill. Not certain where the Tiger P is. I know he's not sitting where he was the last time we saw him, or I'd be able to see him right now. I would suspect he's moved up on the hill too, but I don't know. So I'll just come over here and try to spot the hill from the railroad grade, see if I can light up any tanks. Everybody's converging over there. We pretty much know where they're at. It's just a matter of precisely locating them. There's the T-30. Full health. No problem. We got the guns to bring him down.
That one didn't go through.
Oops, he's dead. Tiger P pretty much has to be on top of the hill unless he's hiding in the little pond there. I don't know why people go there at the end. Sometimes they make their last stand down in that depression, but usually not very effective. And there he is. He's full health too. That's no problem at all. Everybody's converging. Here's another hint right here. You see how everybody's converging on this guy? That's what you want to do when you only have one or two tanks left. Don't have one person go in by themselves while everybody else sits back and hopes they can snipe. Then they die, and somebody else goes in by themselves, and everybody else sits back and hopes they can snipe. And the second guy dies, then all of a sudden you're like 2-2, and you're going, well, what the hell? We were just 6-2 a minute ago. If you're going to take on those last few tanks, everybody go at once. They have 2 guns against 6. Guess who wins? Unless you're horrible shots, you win. They can't compete with your firepower. You go in one at a time and give them a 1-on-2 over and over and over. Guess who wins? They do. All of a sudden they've caught up and have a chance to win the fight. When you're in position to overwhelm people, everybody go. Overwhelm them. Don't leave any doubt as to who the stronger team is. Don't give them a chance to work their way back in. So in this battle, I end up with 2,225 XP, 2,388 damage and 2 kills, 6,718 assisted damage, 6 spots, and a patrol duty medal. That's 13 for 16 on shooting accuracy, and despite firing some heat, I ended up earning 18,870 credits. In the beginning, I didn't push my luck. I didn't go straight to E1, even though that was my eventual goal. I know I have a hard time at tier 8 getting there without being seen. And this is actually it's a tier 9 fight, but I have a tier 8 scout. So I pull up into that bush just before E1 because I know I can get there safely most of the time. Now, if on the way there I would have seen that 1390 kind of countering me coming straight at me, I wouldn't even have pushed that. I would have pulled up in a bush before that until that guy was dead. And then I would have bush topped up. In this case, I pulled up one bush short. When it came time that the T-54 was far enough away I could do it safely, I moved up in a manner which maximized the distance between myself and the T-54, and I get up there with no problem, spotted for a while. I had excellent support behind me that was very efficient in employing their weapons and causing damage and kills, and so I let them do the work at first. Got to be time where I just wanted to get in on the action, so I moved back into that second E1 bush, and that allowed me to get off a string of shots without having to move, without being seen, maximizing my DPM. As fast as I reload, I fire again, and I don't have to worry about taking damage in return. It's a great thing to do. Double bushing, triple bushing. I want to do a video just focusing on that. Another secret about that is a lot of times you don't even need to double or triple bush. If, say, I'm over here, there's a target down here, I could be out in the open. If I'm far enough away they can't see me, if I get a bush halfway in between, third of the way in between, somewhere in between me, if I get a bush, here I am, here's a bush, here they are. I can use this bush in the center, a single bush, to completely conceal my gunfire. Now, in that situation, I may have to move to the side to reacquire my target. So the advantage of double or triple bushing, the real advantage is that if you don't have to keep reacquiring your target, you don't have to move. If you don't have to move, you don't have to adjust your aim, you get to fire round after round after round as fast as you can reload. So it is the most effective and safest way to maximize your DPM and damage you deal to the enemy with little risk of taking any return fire. Okay? There's other situations where you don't have to obsess on always having 2 or 3 bushes, because you can always do, and I'll explain all this in the video, you can always just use the single bush, back up to where you're concealed, fire once or twice, move back up to reacquire your target, back up. But there's some inefficiency there because you're having to reposition to reacquire your target. Double bushing allows you to sit there and maximize your DPM. So it's a great technique to use. Be aware of it as you're playing. It just doesn't happen on this map. There's lots of maps where you can do it on. It doesn't even have to be a scout map. It just has to be somewhere where you have environmental concealment in shapes of bushes and trees. Learn how to position yourself to where you can fire using bushes without being seen, and so you can just fire round after round after round. You can do a lot of damage really fast. In this battle, let's see here, I already went through all that. I think the next one I'll do is I'll do a video specifically on using bushes as concealment in the 3 basic ways that you can do it. From Prok standard mode north spawn, using double bushes and take advantage of a team that supported me and was able to fire straight to turn what was a close win into an easy win. Happy hunting.